I've had a little bit of a kind of emotional stop and just had a little bit of a breather after watching Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 1. Incredibly emotional ending towards the end of that game. And yeah, ultimately one that Bristol City have, I would normally say, snatched a point from. It didn't feel like a snatch. It felt like a very, very, very well deserved point. And finally, we get our just rewards against the side who they're for the taking, and Bristol City managed to, well, find a way to grab a point. Let's get straight into it. Let's get into the team news. For Bristol City, it was 3 changes, I believe. Yu Hirakawa came into the side, Joe Williams came into the side, and so did Hayden Roberts. So it was Max Fury in goal, back 3 of George Tanner, Rob Dickey, and Zach Viner. Joe Williams, Jason Knight, kind of in, well, Max Burr, kind of in a fluid midfield. It was very fluid, lots of fluidity. Just can't say the word. Yu Hirakawa right wing back, Hayden Roberts left wing back, Scott Twine kind of operating in that channel as he normally likes to do, kind of giving that free role and occupying lots of spaces, and Sinclair Armstrong as the front man. For Sheff United, it was Michael Cooper in goal, back 4 of Harrison Burrows, Jack Robinson, Rob Holding, Femi Sariki, Hamza Chowdhury, Sidney Peck in midfield, Ben Brereton Diaz, Callum O'Hare, Jess Raksaki, Tyrese Campbell. A lot of injuries for Blades. No Tom Cannon, no Amadodzic. Well, in the starting 11, no Amadodzic, no Harmon, no Kiefer Moore, etc., etc. No Brewster, but in the squad in general, no Sousa, no Cannon either. So some problems there for no Harry Clark. No, some problems there for Sheffield United in terms of injuries. But Bristol City have got injury problems of our own, haven't we? I mean, we've literally not got. We've got 2 centre backs and they have to play every week at the moment, which is every game, which is a real, well, kind of problem. But yeah, we go into this game. Liam Manning and the group kind of mentioned a lot of, well, Liam Manning in particular pre-game, we selected a team to win. We're going there to play our best football, trying to go there and win. It's exactly what this Bristol team did, or tried to do, and try and go and win the game. Absolutely brilliant start. Completely on top. At one point, about halfway through the first half, I think we had 80% possession. We just take into context, away at Bramall Lane, against a side who, even if they got a point, which they have done, would move top of the league. Just a really, really, like, top performance to go there, control possession, and not just, like, keep it and just, like, be tepid with it. Actually look dangerous at points. Really, really dangerous at points. And should have scored, really, in the first half, at least once, if not twice. Yeah, with that brings it risks, you know. We did look open at points, and Sheffield United would argue they probably deserved to score in the first half, and I wouldn't argue against it. Jess Raksaki had a really good chance, which George Tanner someone miraculously cleared away from his feet. But Sinclair Armstrong in that first half had an unbelievable opportunity to put Bristol City ahead. He is literally a few yards out. It is a delicious, scrumptious ball in by Joe Williams. Actually, maybe it's a little bit too fluid. Maybe it gives Sinclair Armstrong a little bit too much time. But still, it's about as well as he can do for the position he's in to find Sinclair Armstrong. Maybe he's a hint of offside with Armstrong, but, you know, he's in that position. He's got to bury that chance. Unfortunately, he's come up against probably one or two goalkeepers in this division who have got any chance of saving that, and Michael Cooper. Well, Sinclair Armstrong kind of puts it in one area of the goal where Michael Cooper's got somewhat of a chance of saving it, and Michael Cooper, to be completely candid, and in complete fairness to Michael Cooper, a ridiculous save by a Premier League goalkeeper in the making, I think. Definitely will be playing in the Premier League with Sheffield United or not. We'll find out. But yeah, a top goalkeeper with a top save. I mean, Sinclair Armstrong a little bit unfortunate not to see that go into the back of the net, but a ridiculous save if Max Fury's doing that. And Max Fury actually had a couple of really good saves. Tyrese Campbell had a shot which was saved quick to his near post, to his right. So yeah, he made a couple of really good saves, and one of Harrison Burrows, which actually was a really similar position to where he scored the winner at Ashton Gate in the 98th minute. Thankfully, that did not occur again. If anything, that was flipped the other way around. But yeah, that big opportunity for Sinclair Armstrong is a main talking point. And, you know, you see a lot of people going, well, if he'd scored that, we would have won the game. I don't really like to talk about things like that because, you know, goals changes kind of how teams approach games and the rest of the game. If Sinclair Armstrong scores it in the 37th or whatever it was minute, early, kind of midway through the first half, Sheff United changed the way they approached the game from there. And Chris Wilder's known to be kind of brave with his decisions this season. And I don't know, maybe that would have changed the game. Maybe it was okay. We didn't score in that position. Actually, no. Yeah, actually, no. Because actually, we continued to keep up the tempo and go into half time on top, and probably were the team that should have gone into it ahead. Half time comes about. Max Bird comes out for Mark Sykes, and I'm still not sure why Max Bird came out for Mark Sykes. It meant a little bit of a rejig in terms of shape. So that meant obviously a midfielder goes out for a wing back. So it was Joe Williams and Jason Knight midfield, which has not been so ever present recently. So it went Yu Hirakawa and Twine and Armstrong as the front three, Sykes and Roberts as the wing backs, and Knight and Williams in midfield with Tanner, Dickey, Viner, and obviously Max O'Leary in goal. So that was the kind of rejig at half time. And actually, it didn't really impact us too much with the opening 10, sort of 15 minutes of the first half until they made their substitutions. And I'm really apologise in advance for, well, what I said. I don't really, do apologise for saying ultimately the truth. The quality Sheff United got off the bench is just completely superior to what any other Championship team that are not in receipt of parachute payments can offer, really. And I know I got a bit of stick for it when I talked about it in the reverse fixture when Sheff United beat us at Ashton Gate, where I said, oh, Sheff United, parachute payments, lots of quality, and I got a bit of stick for that. I'm going to say the same points again because it's ultimately true. I mean, Callum O'Hare comes out, really top Championship player. Rhian Brewster comes in, who they paid 20 million for. Gus Harmer comes in for Jess Rexaki, one of the top young loanees of the Championship and a top signing and a really good player. He comes out. Gus Harmer comes in, who absolutely ripped up this division a couple of years ago and has been ripping it up this season as well when he's been on the pitch, and a really top player. And since then, Sheff United, after that point, were in complete control of the game. They changed that. Better players come on the pitch. They look a better side. And from a side that looked really unconvincing early on for large proportions of that first half, and well, up until Gus Harmer comes on and Rhian Brewster comes on, and then it goes Brewster and Campbell, which obviously provides a little bit more of a different threat to Bristol City, and actually leads to the goal. And so on 61, where it was 6, I'll say 5-10 minutes of Sheff United pressure, a lot more possession for the Blades, and then it goes Brewster, wonderful ball to Tyrese Campbell. You can criticise Rob Dickey all you want for the goal because ultimately he loses the man. He gets spun quite easily, but it's a really, really good first touch. And actually, to be fair, it's the second time this week that Rob Dickey's been kind of spun quite easily. João Pedro against Hull, but it's a top finish and a top turn, a top touch by a top player for this level, and a good finish by Tyrese Campbell, who probably should have scored even before that. Liam Manning, though, responds immediately after, and I'm sure he would have liked to do this even before the goal. He makes a triple substitution. Naki Wells comes on for Sinclair Armstrong, Anis Mehmeti comes on for Scott Twine, and George Earthy comes on for Yu Hirakawa. And George Earthy makes an absolutely brilliant impact yet again. Tyrese Campbell is forced off with an injury in 67. And then on 77, where Bristol are kind of getting into the game, there's a little bit more pressure, we're going more direct, we're putting more balls into the box, we're getting it down the channels. Roberts was a real threat down the left-hand side, especially in the first half, where he really kind of bombed on and showed some really good moments in attacking third. Maybe the final product end lacking, but he's been playing left centre back for a lot of his career, so what can you really expect? But still, really good performance, and he got into loads of space down the left hand side. He was brought off for Cam Pring. Amadodzic came on for Femi Siriki. They went a bit more they pushed a little bit more, a bit more compact, a bit more quality in Amadodzic, and Sam McCallum came on for Rob Holding. That might have been the other way around, but it is what it is. But Bristol City really put Sheff United under the pump for a lot of the end of that kind of the period leading up to the goal. 15-20 minutes of constant Bristol City pressure. There was opportunities, kind of half opportunities. There was one for Mark Sykes before he actually scores from a corner, which he puts wide. A lot of kind of bobbles in the box. There's shots from the edge of the box. There's drilled efforts. There's little blocks. Hamza Chowdhury in particular, kind of getting in the way of everything, and you just kind of feel like, oh my god, we're not going to score here. But a brilliant bit of quality from Joe Williams to George Earthy, and then George Earthy, sublime outside the football to Mark Sykes, who has the composure to wait, realises where the goal is, pretty obvious thing to say, but he realises kind of in the surroundings around him. He knows there's a player on him. He knows it has to be a first time finish or has to be a touch and a cross into the box, but he knows there's an opportunity to shoot. he knows it will cause a little bit of uncertainty for Michael Cooper because he can't really properly see it. It's a brilliant finish and it's a brilliant moment because Bristol City they've had so many we've had so many games this season where we've kind of been the better team, great kind of chances, had a lot of the ball, but not quite got over the line in terms of getting a point, getting 3 when we deserved it. It's good to finally do something like that where we needed to kind of push on, because that is a massive point now. That's a massive point and something that's just a really good way to end that game and finally get what we deserved. After that, 6 minutes of further time comes up when you're going, Christ, here we go again. Sheff Utd going to score another Lager goal against us, and then we're going to lose this game. No, this team's got a little bit of steel about it, and we shut them out really well. Now, before I talk about the right at the end of it, where Joe Williams obviously handballs it, well, not obviously, it is a handball, but I'm not sure how much he knows about it, and there's a push by Campering on Harrison Burrows. That one I don't think is a penalty, because Harrison Burrows stands there, and Campering is kind of like, well, what does he want? What does Campering want? What do you want Campering to do? Just kind of stand there and accept Harrison Burrows? I think Harrison Burrows is offside anyway, but that's another debate entirely. But I don't think that's a penalty. And then the one Joe Williams, the last action of play where Mark Cooper sends a free kick in, kind of bobbles around, Joe Williams clears it, and then it goes back to Joe Williams, and Gus Harmer kind of gets a toe on it, and it goes right up against his arm here, and it's not in a completely unnatural position. It's not like up here where it definitely would have been given, but it does hit his arm. What I'll say to that is, I think that's probably a penalty, and it's probably given with VAR, but I think that kind of cancels out what Gus Harmer did, which was utterly ridiculous in the second half as well, where I think this was after we scored, and you're just going, well, we're not going to get a penalty, and we're not going to score kind of day, and he's blatantly, he moves his hands to us. The ball, he makes contact with the ball with his hand, and I can understand the referee missing it because there's a crowd of bodies in front of him. The linesman missing it, and yeah, that should have been a penalty. The whole kind of away end goes up, players go up, and nothing's given, and ultimately I think that cancels out. So I'm not really buying in any of the kind of we were hard done by the Sheff Utd fans, because I think we probably deserved one more penalty, and we probably should have scored again. So yeah, I'm not really buying it, to be honest. But yeah, that's the end of the game, and a fantastic point for Bristol City, a really fantastic point, because Coventry lost at Derby, which was a bit of a surprise. West Brom drew at Burnley, and I know it was a draw, so we matched their result, but it is annoying because it was away at Burnley, and I would have hoped Burnley would have got the job done, but that's a bit unfortunate. Middlesbrough got the job done over QPR, but Borough up and down. They've got 2 really nice looking fixtures coming up, haven't they? So yeah, not a bad day in terms of the top 6 race and kind of the configuration. If we had lost that game, that would have been really kind of deflating, considering West Brom won. They would have made a point up on us. So we've gained a point on Cov, and we've kind of matched West Brom's result. I know Middlesbrough have gained ground on us, but that's kind of, yeah, in terms of where we are right now and pushing up, that's a fine result. And now we've got a really, really, really crucial game against Norwich on Friday night, who have thrown away a 2-0 lead against Sheffield Wednesday. So hopefully we can back this up, and there's a nice unbeaten run we're now pushing together. Consistency has been an issue. Is this now the run that's going to really propel us towards hopefully a top 6 finish? Let's bloody hope so. Start that on Friday night, hopefully. See, I will see you then. But a really fantastic point for Bristol City at Bramall Lane, and after that disappointment against Hull, as I lose my voice, on Saturday, really good to kind of bounce back and show some character, show some steel about us, and get the point late on Bramall Lane, a Sheff Utd side that's now top of the league and chasing automatic promotion back to the Premier League. Thank you very much for watching this video. Everyone, keep safe, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.